Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's so nice to have you here on USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, where we celebrate you, our loyal followers. We celebrate our team, we celebrate our guests, and we celebrate our sponsors. Our show today is the Mallorca Connection, and our topic is being alive now and its practical inputs. The star of our show is Mr. Roland FRIEDL. If you've joined us before, you know that Roland is literally rolling along in his motorhome as he travels all through Europe, meeting very interesting people and sharing his journey with us. Roland is a huge part of our platform here. He actually has 3 shows that he hosts today, Wednesday. So if you've been watching us for a while, he used to be on Tuesdays and now he's on Wednesdays. So please do mark your calendars. He's also one of our expert presenters on Talking Heads, and he's an elevated listener. Let's bring him out and then welcome our guest. Hi, Roland.
Hello, Dr. JACALYN. Great to see you. By the way, you look gorgeous in this outfit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I think it's the lighting.
No, it really looks gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, Roland, I want to just talk about the fact that you're doing 3 shows in a row from a motorhome, searching for Wi-Fi, managing your animals, the weather, everything that's going on that could affect the broadcast. How does that feel?
Sometimes challenging, because we had some heavy storms here a few weeks ago. I remember when we did some shows when I was in Andalusia, a few storms here in Portugal. No, but as I always say, also my coaching with my clients, when the why is strong enough and large enough, then there's always a how and a what are you doing. So I will find a solution. Sometimes it's challenging, yes, but I know, the show is on this day, on this date, and then I try the internet, and if it's not working, I remember when with our guest we're speaking later, who I met on the men's festival, I always had to leave the men's festival, my motorhome, and drive 1 mile down where the network is a better one, and then driving back the whole motorhome stuff. But anyway, there's always a way to find out. Yeah, sometimes it's challenging, yes, but most of the time it's working out very well.
Well, I certainly appreciate your commitment to excellence and your professionalism. Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit, for people who are joining us for the first time. First of all, welcome to our new viewers and listeners. Tell us about the work that you do to help other people, especially when it comes to your men's groups.
Yeah, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, a happy new year from my side. This is the first Mallorca Connection show this year, so a happy new year. All the best for 2023. That may all your wishes or your desires and your efforts come true. That's the first of all. My name is Roland. Maybe you see the boxing gloves in the back. So my main business is I run a coaching, consulting, training company in Switzerland since more than 2.5 decades, where we support huge international organizations worldwide with their teams, process optimization, making them smarter, making them more efficient, more productive, training their staff, their sellers, their vendors, also their managers, their leaders. We do a lot of executives coaching. That's what we do worldwide together with my team in, I'm not quite sure, 8 or 9 languages. I never noticed. I have to look at a website. That's what we do, and also for startup companies. That's my main business, and we see ourselves as sparring partners, preparing you for the real world, like a boxing coach does sparring with you to prepare you for the fight. That's why the boxing gloves in the background. That's my main business. Besides that, I'm very engaged in my foundation, the environmental work. What I did the show an hour before with my colleague Marcin on the Earth Show. It's my man's work, because I think it's, first of all, I'm a man by myself, and I was always suffering many years because I suppressed my emotions. First of all, I was trained in school by my parents and military to suppress my emotions, not to be weak. And when you do this over a long time, I'm now 58. When this is a long period, when I found out that you not feel any more negative emotions, you also don't feel any more your positive emotions. Yeah, like joy and stuff like that. So through my girlfriend, I learned a lot about myself and getting access to my emotion, recognize them, name them, and talk about them was really a hard process. And during this process, and talking to friends of mine, I found out that many men are suffering the same. They don't talk about the inner feelings. And then when I did more and more research years ago, I found out that 84% of men don't have a best friend. I mean, they have a buddy, like, going for a beer or for bull billard or whatever, having fun. But meaning a best friend, really opening up and talking about their inner world, about their emotions, their anxieties, their self-doubt, whatever it is. Private stuff, because men are very competitive. You always want to be the best, the most successful one. I have the largest house, the fastest house, the most beautiful girl, whatever. We're very competitive. So men don't talk normally. And that's why I started this men's work some years ago and brought up this Sparing for Men platform, where we meet on a safe environment, and we share different topics, something we have guest speakers. And then actually, I guess almost a year ago, about 9 months ago, we brought this idea up on USA Global TV and Radio, which is the show that starts in 54 minutes, 54 minutes, sorry. So we want to join this. It's the Wild at Heart. Wild at Heart, this is a book title from a guy called John Eldridge. I read many books of him. John Eldridge, he does a lot of men's work in the US and also internationally. So we call the show Wild at Heart, a show for men, by men, about men, where some guys, we are from different countries with different backgrounds, meet here on USA Global TV Radio and talk about different topics. And yeah, that's what we're doing. But I strongly believe that when we want to make this planet a better place, not only that we have to respect Mother Earth and protect Mother Earth and be more cautious with our environment, we also, as a man, we have to evolve and develop and learn and get access to our emotions. I think that's so important.
Thank you so much, Roland. And as always, thank you for just sharing your voice and sharing your heart to help so many. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you to you and the USA Global TV Radio that you have. I know that you really work hard on this, bringing this platform up and give not only myself but all the other experts. You're running more than 20 shows and bringing up their expertise and education. Sometimes when I have time, I get into one of the shows and I listen to my colleagues, what they bring in. It's so important. All this, sharing information and getting as much people on the same level of information, so we evolve and develop as a society. So thanks for that.
Absolutely. Thank you to you and the team. And we do have a couple of comments, and then I'll ask you to introduce our guest for today. So thank you so much, Enoch, for joining us. Thanks for the show. And a follow-up, Roland, Ambassador of Push Child Foundation, Uganda.
Yes, I love that. I love it.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to spotlight you now, and if you can share information about our guest, how you two met, and what he's going to be sharing with us today.
Okay. So as I said, I'm very engaged in men's work, and I joined a men's festival last year. I'm not quite sure. I guess it was in May or June. I don't remember. When you're traveling in a motorhome, especially when you're traveling in countries like in the south, where the supermarkets are also open on Sunday, what is not normal in my home country in Austria. In Austria, it happened to me. I was standing in front of a supermarket, want to go in, closed. Oh, it's Sunday. So when you live like a free spirit like myself, with freedom and independence, you have a problem what days are. So. I don't know. I guess it was in May or June. Maybe Daniel knows it better. So I was at this men's festival in Upper Austria, close to my hometown. And I joined this men's festival. It was really an amazing gathering, meeting interesting people. There was a lot of workshops and different topics. And one of the presenters was Daniel. And then we had a conversation besides the workshop. Sorry. But because on a topic that I would love to work, and I really appreciated how he listened. First of all, how he was listening to me, really listening very carefully, understanding, and then talking with me without finger pointing. So I really enjoyed his approach, and yeah. So I said, okay, let's bring him on the show, and the topic. Together we start with him together is being alive now. I guess it's a very important topic, because I see so many people who not alive, not really living their full potential. Really, they're living the full. They are just in a treadmill, doing every day the same stuff, always doing the same stuff, always doing the same stuff. And some people really believe that they're enjoying life, but they don't do. They don't live it. Yeah, they're driven by something. They're manipulated by something. Yeah, that's not. They believe that's their free will, but it's not. Yeah, so many people have excuses why they're doing this, and but they don't live really a free life. So being alive, that's the topic about it, and how it's practical impacts. So the practical inputs are that's the topic. So I'm very looking forward to what he's telling us, because as you know, Dr. JACALYN, I'm a how to say, I'm a lifetime learner and student. You know, with all my expertise I have in different fields, but I'm very open always to listen to other people, learn from them. As I don't know who was it said, I guess this quote, as I once saw it on social media by I guess the Dalai Lama, but I don't know who really this quote said. And it said, when you talk, you just repeat what you already know, but when you listen, maybe you'll learn something new. So I'm very eager to listen to Daniel and find out more. So bring him on stage.
All right, let's welcome Daniel to the program. Hello.
Hello, and thank you for the
Hi, Daniel.
Hello.
Great to see you again.
Thanks for
Yes.
joining us from Austria.
Yes, I'm sitting right now in Austria. Yeah.
Daniel, my first question for you is on your tagline here for people who are on the radio or podcast and they can't see it, is being alive now. So people might wonder, okay, well, here I am, I'm breathing, I'm alive, you can see me. What does alive mean to you and why now?
For me, I translated this title from German to English. In German, it would be lebendig sein jetzt, which means being alive now. And I just registered this domain of now. And then the whole project started of, okay, what does aliveness mean to me? For me, it started to mean coming from being a numb person who almost not feeling feelings, not feeling emotions, just being in the body, but not really sensing the body, to experience more and more how aliveness, how the body is vibrating, how life force is spreading through my body through Qigong practice, or through a lot of playing with children who are fully alive in this moment, following an impulse, not thinking about it too much, but following and doing, going more into doing than thinking about it or repressing emotions. So I have been facilitating for over 10 years as a facilitator for violence prevention and play fighting and playing with kids and traveling from one school to the other school and having every day like 50 to 60 kids in different workshops, and the next day another school. So once it has been, I was traveling 800 kilometers from one side of Austria to the other side in one day to have a next workshop. So this brought me to this being alive in the body, in the mental, in the emotional, and also with other people, of creating connections, listening, being really there and sensing in this moment. Like now I feel like nervousness in my system, I feel my feet, I feel a tingling sensation in my body, and having this information as an intelligence. And a lot of different tools or different training modalities helped me to cultivate this, and also to support other people, like on workshops, like on the Men Festival Roland mentioned, where we have met, or in one-on-one coaching sessions, to support others who are like wanting to feel more, wanting to feel their emotions, or wanting to sense their body, and to give them a container how they can do it with different exercises or different approaches or different distinctions.
That was what came to my mind when you're talking about people think too much. What came to my mind straight was one of my gurus, Osho, the former Bhagwan. He once said, I will never forget this, you know, in the Western tradition, we have a lot of philosophers. They think and think and think, but they have no, I would say the F word, they have no idea about living. Because living is about feeling and being connected. And yes, we think too much. Yeah, we're too much in our head and not enough in our heart.
I would totally agree with you on this. Like my experience, since I myself have been thinking a lot. I have been almost totally in my mental body and not realizing that there below, there was a lot of emotions or feelings or something in my body which I was not listening to because I was too afraid to feel that, to feel depression, to feel also, there's no distinction between negative or positive feelings, but just what is down there. So I have been totally up there and now making the path to the heart and to more to the physical body. And now when I'm with people, I see, like literally see when they move up energetically to the mental body and how much activity is there if they refuse to just feel what's in their heart now. So sometimes I really have to ask them, hey, what is your heart telling you right now? What is the intelligence of your heart telling you? And not what is your rational mind creating a story out of a sensation in the body. So this is something we here in the West have a lot. And through my travel through Asia, India, there has a lot be more of being in the moment, being in the now, also in Thailand. And here in the West, there is the tendency to plan a lot, to be not in the now, but to maybe read a book about the now and make a philosophy or discussion, but not really being, okay, what am I sensing right now in my stomach or in my feet? Do I have a connection to my feet? And through having a connection to the body, also a connection to the other person by sensing.
Yeah. So you mean we have a lot of knowledge through our thinking, but no experience?
This is
what came to my mind as somebody said about, I don't know who he was, he said about, you know what an expert is? A sexual expert, he knows a lot of positions, but doesn't know a girl.
this is quite a nice summary in a way. We have a lot of knowledge, but not wisdom coming from own experiencing.
Yeah.
And we are driven by short-term results. So we have this, I want to practice 2 times a meditation and I want to have a result. But really creating an experience comes from long-term making it practice. Really day-by-day practice. If it's meditation, breath work, body work, it goes slowly and gently and not these fast, immediate results, which we're not having a clue how it's working on the long term. There's a lot of practices which use a lot of fire methods, which feel very alive in the first time. Your body's tingling, you feel a lot of energy moving through your body. But on the long term, it can ruin your nervous system because it's too much. So we're also missing this balance. We have a lot of fire, but the water element is mostly missing. So there's a lot of traditions with fire and water ways, like in Qigong, which create a more balanced view and the long-term view and the longevity view. And it's about how can I prolong my life? Also through breathing, which is like the idea, this not my lifespan is limited. No, the breathing cycle is like, has a definite, like 10,000 times I have a breathing cycle. So the slower I breathe, the longer I will stay on this earth and enjoy this physical body and having this time to have an experience in this form.
Daniel, when I asked you the first question, you shared what it is you've been doing and traveling around in great distances and holding these workshops. For the young people who attend, what do you see in terms of an outcome from when you first meet them to the completion? What type of changes do you see occur?
Like right now, I'm almost not working anymore with young people. I'm working with adults or in workshop groups. And what I experience when I have people working with me for half a year or 2 years, like now I have somebody, is really this resting in the body, resting in the different centers. We have the Dantiem in the Chinese 3 centers, and really be relaxed and having a container of a body who can feel the different emotions, and also a high intensive life force, like when I use Rage Club work, where you use with conscious rage and anger, which is from the possibility management. So having a container which is really able to feel this aliveness, which in normal ways would be like, oh, I'm afraid of all this aliveness. My whole body is tingling. Something has to be wrong. No, it's fine. The whole body has an intensity of telling me life force is flowing through. And this is what is happening through little steps, sometimes with emotional work, sometimes with body work, sometimes through meditation, sometimes with breathing work, whatever the person needs at this moment. So I try to filter what is the most beneficial method at this moment to work with this person. So sometimes give a lot of space for doing feelings work, sometimes being very precise with anger work, about clarity, about really feeling into and doing and bringing it into action, into day-to-day work. And sometimes really being more in the yin space of listening, of being water, of opening a large space so something inside can unfold. So there's a greater happiness, a greater relaxation inside the system, and a trust in a higher plan of you are here for a certain purpose, and what is your purpose, and how to bring this purpose to your life and to your daily life, and to serve in a way with your purpose, serve humanity, serve humankind, serve the earth being. Yeah. And creating, like, last thing was like creating a light tower. So I have people who are like, I don't know if light tower is the right word, but these towers which are giving navigation for ships.
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse, thank you. So giving these people, hey, you're a lighthouse and you just need to be lightened up so you can be a lighthouse for another person. So empowering other space holders to be a space holder for other people. So it's my job in a way, or my duty, to make myself not necessary anymore for these people. So this is the direction or the aim I'm going for.
Okay.
I really like that analogy of the light tower, the lighthouse for someone else, space holder.
Yeah, we have in possibility management, there's this main space. When we create a workshop like we have done on the Men's Festival, which was the first rage club for men in Austria. It was a premiere. We were celebrating with 17 brave men who were there. And my task is there to scan the whole field. Who can be a next space holder? Who needs resources from my side to be the next space holder, to hold a workshop or something like this, or a different form? So this is my task of really scanning the field and empowering this person, asking, hey, do you need more? Do you want to also be a facilitator? Or where do you see yourself? So really scanning for potential persons to hold other spaces, to step into these shoes and really holding space for other people.
Daniel, can you tell a little bit our audience, I wouldn't say your background, but what was your path to realize aliveness? How did your journey look like? So maybe some people can say, okay, looks like mine, maybe has some challenges. I'm also challenged when people say, yeah, he does it or she does it, but it's not for me, or I cannot do it. So what was your path to realize that?
I would say I have maybe reached 1% of aliveness. Every day is like, I'm still finding myself numb. My path started with having this call to work with kids and decided to walk into technical engineering. So I was studying software engineering. I was fully in my mind, fully analytical, software programming. But I was totally unhappy and depressed below, and I did not even feel it. I just was following something like an idea of a career or building a family, but I was not connected to my heart or my body in a way. So then after I finished the studies of electronics, I had this call to go into social work. So I started studying social work, started to work with kids, with handicapped people, getting a lot of different ideas also about different therapy methods, which I didn't find useful at this time because it was just on the mind, on the psychological level, and it was not going deep enough for me into the body. So after I had studied of 10 years, different modalities, I was having these 2 years in Italy, living in the mountains, because my biggest dream when I was growing up in Austria, there were no mountains. I loved skiing. So I had this idea, when I'm finished in Vienna, I go to live in the mountains and to be every day on the mountains and doing what is giving me joy, being in the mountains, being in snow, doing sports. And at this one, I had a lot of time to read about communities, about Tamara, about Qigong. So I was a lot of studying in a way. I wasn't practicing yet, but I was studying. I was preparing myself. And after these 2 years, it was like 2012, I did a male initiation, like a 5-day initiation, and I gave this self as a present to my 30th birthday. And this was like a fuse to my way of doing what my heart told me. And afterward, it was like directly, you give up your jobs. I had 3 jobs in Italy at this time. I gave up everything, and I just started to be self-employed in a way, and going from one school to the other and holding these workshops. And everyone in my friends and in my circle called me crazy because they were asking, from what do you live? And I said, I don't know, but I have this call to work with these kids on a day-to-day basis, even if I don't earn anything and they just pay me the gas to go there. I had this call, and so this 10 years, now it's 11 years, it started this call to follow my soul. Now I would say this was my soul giving a path of, doing what the soul is here to do. And then it accelerated. I went from workshop to workshop. I went into different, like NLP and the Heldenreise, the hero's journey, and a lot of different workshops and seminars. And I was constantly traveling. I had no home. I was like traveling from one seminar to the other, from one workshop to the other. I was living a little bit there, sometimes having a room somewhere. And I think one of the most beneficial parts after this, doing a lot of workshops, I was having burnout because I was doing too much and I didn't realize, because it was giving me so much joy. And then I had a time out in Switzerland, and I was living half a year in the mountains in Switzerland and learning Qigong from a Qigong master, like every day practicing meditation and Qigong. And I was staying there for 20 weeks, working there, quite hard physical work, and practicing. And this was something that gave me a sense how an alive body could feel if I practice day by day, and if I really start to feel energies in the hand, starting to feel a flow in the body. And he was also telling about his experience, how his body felt. And I was like, wow, I want to have this too. He felt so radiant, so alive in his body, and also so flexible and fluent. So this was a major time for me to really go into my body and feel how alive it is. And after I continued with a lot of healing modalities, with different travels to different countries, being in Brazil, in India, in Thailand, and looking for shamans, looking for different healers, also to have different ideas how to make this body whole, how to make the emotional body whole. And one of the most beneficial after this, a lot of workshop, was doing really trauma therapy with somatic experiencing, really going into deep feeling work very slow. This gave me a chance to integrate and to bring this down to the day-to-day life, to really be more in the body, not having an idea about energy is flowing around, but really feeling slowly my system. And this gave me a lot of integration and embodiment. And now in the last years, the embodiment became more and more interesting for me, because just feeling an energy is nice, but it's not embodied yet, because we have a physical body, we're incarnated. So bringing this into every cell, this aliveness, what you sense, then it gets really more and more interesting. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of practices. And so I recommend people just try out and find for yourself what is giving you joy. Where is your heart telling to go? Where is your purpose? Where's your choose going into the body? Most of the times it's something you have done that you love to do as you have been a kid. I love to play a lot with Lego. I was creating fantasy worlds. I was creating all the time and building. And now I'm building like workshops. I'm building like next year, something like a men's festival, a container. So I'm creating different formats all the time. I have different ideas and I'm creating them. And I'm asking people to join the team to create with me together, to bring it to earth, to life, to bring it really to not stay in the head as an idea, but have a vision and to bring it down to earth so people can enjoy and have an experience.
Daniel, what came to my mind is when you mentioned shortly your stay in Switzerland, practicing Qigong, but also working hard. And I remember especially when I started with my motorhome, and I spent some time with my auntie, I was really cutting wood like crazy, days and days, working hard, really hard. I think it's so important that we feel our body. So when we want to get access to our emotion, what's your point on that? You also need really to sweat, and you feel your body first before you can feel your emotion. How about that? Because most people don't feel themselves because they're sitting in an office the whole day.
Yes. So I'm full with you on this. First, we need to sense the body. So if we don't feel a feeling, yes, first we need to sense. We need really a sensation. And for me, it helped. I was really a lot in energy work, a lot in consciousness work. And then in 2019, a garden came to me. So I was then having a garden with 500 square meters. And I started to grow my own food. I started to dig in the ground. And this was the best for me to feel my body, to get exhausted, to have a lot of physical work to ground me down, to really come more into the body. And also in Switzerland, I was doing hard labor for me half a year. I was really strong at this time. It was really impressive for me. And also this garden work. So for me, it's the best balance to chop wood or to dig in the garden, to plant, to take care for a tree, to make wood. Because this is really this sensing. Yes, first we need to sense that we're here. Just by sitting in front of a screen, I lose this sensing very easily, the connection to the feet or to something, because it moves a lot fast into this visionary and mental space.
I can absolutely relate to this, especially the last day, to be honest. I'm traveling. It's a lot of fun. Some challenges, but it's a lot of fun meeting people, different places. I have a lot of fun. But to be honest, so between Christmas and New Year's Eve, something was missing. Something was missing. And, and then I found this spot, this camping site, and there's a gym. I don't like camping site. I always did about, but there's a gym. And I'm working out twice a day. And one of the personal trainers said, "Hey, that's too much." And I said, "No, I feel alive again. I feel my body again. I feel much better. I sleep better. I feel better." So if it's not cutting wood or what, digging in the garden, at least going to the gym and really working heavy out and sweat and feel your body. Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to come in on that. I totally agree with you. When I'm not able to exercise to the point where my heart rate is elevated, I'm sweating, I don't feel like I'm alive. And this workout that I do, that I talk about all the time, you push yourself to second stage muscle failure, where you're literally shaking, you're vibrating. And I love that. I want that. Other people, they don't want to push themselves that hard, and that's up to them. But I know that my body is there supporting me, and my mind is helping me push through to get to the next level of strength. And that's truly feeling for me like being alive physically and mentally.
Yeah. So this is something I recommend, shaking practice, or sometimes for men, I recommend getting a boxing practice, going into like boxing training. Was one of the most efficient, and I didn't like the gym too much, but boxing training, I was also having this trembling, everything was shaking, and afterwards I was not even able to program on the computer because my hands were not working because they were so tired. But I felt so good and exhausted and in my body at this time. This was gorgeous. So I totally recommend every man I coach or I see somewhere and I feel, okay, do you have a body practice? Once in a workshop of play fighting for men, I had this man and he was so exhausted and he was so smiling. And he was like, "Daniel, this is the first time I feel my body. I have only garden work I'm doing now where I feel a little bit my body, but the rest of my life is I don't feel my body." And this fighting or play fighting with each other and playing and feeling the body and feeling the strength and the power of the other person. And I'm being exhausted. This was the best day of my life for like 10 years. And it was so shining eyes. And his realization, I need to do more for my physical body because it gives me joy. And it's so easy. It's nothing difficult. It's not reading a book or understanding anything. It's just giving the body something he needs and wants. We are designed to use our bodies. We're not designed to sit. We're designed to move and to use our bodies.
Absolutely. So to our listeners, when you have a neighbor who needs firewood and is an older lady or man, please go there and offer your support. Cutting firewood, I can say from my own experience, you really feel good afterwards and you do something good for your community. This brings me to the next question. What is your greatest gift, Daniel? How are you serving the community?
My greatest gift, I would say, is spreading this aliveness. which is available to me at the moment. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. So it's not a constant. But really spreading this and joy, and people just being in the same room or being somewhere and being like, hey, you're radiating, you're smiling, you're friendly, you feel alive. And in the last days, I get this, how old are you? Really? You look a lot younger. So I get this feedback of my life force is radiating more and more by practicing. So being there and just radiating this joy and love and well-being to other people is a nice point to serve other people who are stressed, who are in worries. So I have my worries too, a lot of them. And then it's also to calm down and to center, to be like a center for the people, so they get centered as well by, yeah. And I'm doing different modalities to support people, like creating different rooms, like healing ceremonies, or doing rage clubs, or doing Tumu Sadhana, awakening the inner fire initiations, or organizing bigger festivals or something, so people can get together again. Like, yeah, some days ago, I was creating celebrating life together. I was inviting a lot of different facilitators to hold the short workshops. We have different like laughing yoga and dancing and different things. And just being together, everybody bringing food, enjoying time together, sharing, connecting, and experiencing, not just by talking, but by playing together, by dancing together, by singing together, by doing body work together, and having a good time. So that were like 30 people. We couldn't use the sauna, which we wanted to have a sauna ritual, a really nice one. But the rest, it was really enjoyable. Like 8 hours, we had a container in this room, and it was really nice of meeting these people and having them a chance to meet each other by these different methods and different experiencings. And not just by telling a story about myself, but by really being there and living.
I know that, Daniel, one of the things you're doing, and I also love them very much, I tried them several times in Bali and in South America, is cacao ceremonies, cacao spirit. Can you explain a little bit what is cacao? It's not the sweet stuff with the sugar from the supermarket. What is cacao? What is cacao ceremony? What's behind it, and what can people expect from a cacao ceremony, and why they should attend it and experience it?
So I cannot talk about like a cacao ceremony in general. The cacao spirit called me this summer. It called me already when I was in Brazil in 2018, but I realized this year. And it came to me like the spirit, and I was ordering a big quantity of cacao, and I started to experiment every day with a cacao ceremony for myself. Then I was holding space for other people to invite them, and it came to me clear, okay, I'm doing healing ceremonies with the plant spirit of cacao, with the support. And yes, cacao is not this sweet normal cacao, but it's raw cacao, which has different tastes from bitter to fruity, but it's not sweet normally. And what I realized working with the spirit of cacao, I even have a picture beside me, which was drawing an artist of the plant, is that it starts to melt into the heart and starts to make the heart more soft. So it's a pathway to turn into the intelligence of the heart to give you answers. So the plant is showing you a way. You have the way, you have to walk the way by yourself, but the plant is giving you a chance and to show it. So you can ask the spirit of cacao with an intention, and by drinking, with every sip, drinking, having this intention, this why, what do you want to get answers in the journey. And I'm doing a very nice journey, going into the soul with some music, and then going back into the physical body and doing the integration part. So I designed a 3 to 4 hour journey, a healing ceremony where I use the different healing modalities, like giving support with my hands, with life force, working with other energetic tools, praying for the people. And so having a cold green, and cacao is like a helper, a facilitator who helps the people to melt into the heart to get more soft. And then I'm holding the space with different modalities and music and singing, and also praying and telling them stories or something, what is necessary in the room. And it's tremendous what people experience in these 3 hours, what in a way, trips, they have this non-psychedelic plant. Cacao is a master plant, but it's not a psychedelic one, so you don't have this from other plant medicine, a lot of high visuals. But some people have really wow experience where I would be like jealous of wanting to have half a trip like they have, what they see or what they feel or what information they get. So I'm holding space for the cacao spirit, and we're working like hand in hand with each other. A friend of mine was composing a whole song for the cacao spirit, which I use from the beginning for the ceremonies I'm allowed to do. And yes, I'm traveling around now in the German-speaking part, Switzerland, Austria, and Germany, and holding these ceremonies, these healing ceremonies, and love to do this worldwide or even in other English-speaking countries to hold space with Mama Cacao, which is a very softening and joyful practice and space, experience space.
Absolutely. I loved it too. I remember the first time I got involved in Bali, not in South America. The first time I was in Bali many years ago on the Bali Spirit Festival. And, Western, typical cacao using the sweet. And I got this put on an X, slowly, a little bit. Yeah. But it was an amazing experience the first time. And all the other ones too. Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever try Dr. JACALYN cacao?
No, I was just thinking I've never tried it. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Okay.
So we have to fly you in.
I'm open to learning.
Daniel, where are your next workshops that people can attend, and or you find your website or online or face to face?
Yes, the next workshop will be some in Austria, but then I will go to Switzerland. I will be the whole February being in Switzerland. And I will do a healing ceremony with cacao there and Tumusadana initiation. And there will be 2 healing ceremonies. I synchronize this with the moon. So at the full moon and at the new moon, I'm normally doing these ceremonies. So the next will be next week here in Austria. I did one last week for the full moon, next week for the new moon. So, and after Switzerland, and then travel more into Germany. And also in February, I will be in Germany holding a weekend. And also a ceremony. So, but it's mostly, but these workshops are only German speaking in normal, as the people prefer German in these sites. So whoever feels the call and wants to join can just write me an email to the email address which is down there, and I can send you the intel about it. Would love to have more people from different countries to join. Yeah. So if you feel the call, just reach out and I send you the practical logistics about the workshops which are happening in the next 2 months.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And for people who are not able to read the banner, I just want to read off the email address is Daniel, DANIEL at LEBENDIGSEIN.JETZT.
Yes. Daniel, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your insights. Thanks a lot for your time. I'm looking forward to talk later to you again after my next show. I will contact you. Thanks a lot. We go deeper it, and I'm looking forward to have you on one of the other shows again.
Yeah, on the man show would be really nice.
Yeah. Think about it.
That'd be great. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you a lot for
Thank you.
holding the space and for making this possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, Daniel. Bye.
Bye. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye. Very interesting.
Indeed. Yes. It's all about experiencing.
I love how we always provide education here as well as hope and inspiration and entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good combination. Yeah,
yes.
Inspire people. It's all about inspiring people. It's getting inspired. And then I always say, get less impressed and more involved and get your own experience.
Yes. Take action. And Roland, I know you have your next show coming up and you need to get to the other studio. How can people reach out to you and who would you like to contact you?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the easiest way to contact me is always call my main website because it gives you an overview of the work I'm doing. It's my name, so rolandfriedl.com. I will spell it for you guys who are listening on a podcast radio station. It's ROLANDFRIEDL FRIEDL.com, ROLANDFRIEDL.com. There you have a contact from. Yeah, who want to reach out? Whoever wants to connect with me, I'm open to every conversation. I love to connect with people. I think it's all about caring, sharing, and connecting. Yeah, and tell me your story. Tell me where you're coming from, or where you want to go. And yeah, let's connect. It's all about connecting and learning from each other. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Roland. I'll let you get over to the other studio and I'll join you there shortly.
See you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. All right. Thank you, everyone. I just want to give you a few announcements of some things that are new here. So we launched a brand new show here earlier today. It got really good reviews, and I'm hoping that you'll decide to join in. It's called I'm Spiritual, and it's led by Ann Scotland and Dr. Roger Leslie. And again, that is on Wednesdays here. You can find out more over on our website, usaglobaltv.com, or over on our YouTube channel, USA Global TV. Okay, we do have another new show, which is Food and Our Emotions. This one is led by Red O'Loughlin and myself, and we're exploring all kinds of guests who are sharing their expertise, their own experiences when it comes to, it could be dysfunction or it could be highly functioning behaviors around food and our emotions. So do check that out. That's on Thursdays. And also we have a very special event coming up on Sunday. It's our 1-year anniversary. It's hard to believe. January 15th, we'll be live streaming for 5 hours. And we have a full agenda. We've got people from all over the world who have been guests on our shows who are going to be joining us and promoting their work, letting our audiences know about the services they offer so that they can help you, bring value to you and your life. And of course, on Saturday, very special, we have our second book launch in the amazing adventures of Lady Ella, the listening mentor. The second book is called Lady Ella's ABCs of Listening. And all of the animal characters that you see there on the book cover represent real people who have taken the Power of Listening course that I facilitate and created. And they then become elevated listeners on our elevated listening team and are able to get involved with all kinds of opportunities to help facilitate elevated listening across the world. So we have our launch party on Saturday. I would love for you to join us. And as I mentioned, this is the second book in the series. The first book is here on the left, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. This book and the second one actually became Amazon #1 new releases. The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor, became a #1 new release that day. And of course, when we launched the Lady Ella's ABCs of Listening as a pre-order for an ebook, that also became a #1 new release. So you can go over to Amazon and you can pick up your copy. You can pre-order the second book. You can also order it in hardback. That's available for the first book. It's coming soon for the second book. So we'd love to have your support. The paperback book for the second one will be available on Saturday, the 14th. And in addition, I just want to announce that for the second book, we also have created a song called Listening Lazies, and that will be live streaming on Saturday. We're going to play it for the first time. We have a music video that was created, and that was developed by myself. It was composed by myself, Dr. Madeline Chan, and Mariska Duprier. So the Listening Lazy song, the sheet music is in the book, the second book, Lady Ella's ABCs of Listening, and there's also the song there, and we will be playing the song live on our TV show on Saturday. So please join us. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. All right, we're going to sign off for now as we come back with the men's show, Wild at Heart. And we have a new addition to the men's panel. It's Mr. Red O'Loughlin. So do join in. Stay wherever you are right now. The show is coming up very shortly. Bye for now.